What is going on, everybody? Hope you guys are having a great day today. I'm sitting back here on the sleeper on the couch, just hanging out, drinking some coffee, and we're going to talk about Landstar. We're going to talk about the orientation process, the application process, and the day after orientation, or the last day of orientation, how all that works. Not necessarily in that order. Next video will be about the rates you would get in Landstar, what you would sign up for as far as what you would get paid. We're going to talk about the fuel discounts and the PM discounts, things like that, tires, and we're going to talk about the benefits and the ups and downs, the pros and cons of Landstar. So we're going to have two videos to this. This is going to be the first part. Make sure you subscribe so you can get the second one as soon as it comes out. And yeah, let's talk about Landstar. So I've been at Landstar for a little over 3 years now. Don't take everything I say for gospel truth. Things change. Okay. When I started, it was roughly a 3 to 5 week process. I did start, like, my orientation was the week after Thanksgiving, so I think that had a little bit to do with it. The process, it does take a while, so keep working. Don't just quit your company and think you're going to go to work at Landstar next week. That's not going to happen. It takes a while. The process is you fill out the application, you get in contact with a recruiter, they'll call you, email you, whatever the case may be. Once your paperwork and everything comes back at Landstar, they will, obviously they're going to do a background check, they're going to do a motor vehicle records check, they're going to do all of that stuff. Then what's going to happen is they're going to say, hey, we need to get you need to have your fingerprints done at least, or have the test done for your hazmat. You need to get your truck inspected, and you need to take a drug test. What order that might be in, I don't know. I believe that I did the truck inspection first, and then I did the drug test. I might be backwards on that. Like I said, it's been over 3 years, so anywho, those things are going to happen. Once you get the truck inspected, you'll take it to, like, they'll send you a list of inspection sites that it could be a TA, it could be a mom and pop shop, it could be a dealer. Several different places do Landstar inspections. You just call them and say, hey, I have this is my first inspection with Landstar, I need to get my tractor inspected. If you have a trailer, you would also get that inspected then as well. You have to pay the initial $46, whatever a DOT inspection is, get that done. Once your truck and or trailer passes, they send the paperwork over to Landstar automatically. The recruiter will call you. I don't think they call them recruiters, but anywho. So yeah, they will send you an email and say, hey, next step is this. If you don't have a hazmat endorsement already, you will need to show proof before you go to orientation that you have taken the fingerprints, like you've done that process, which I think it's like $115, or you've taken the test in your state. Some states you do the fingerprints first, some states you do the test first. You'll have your truck inspected and or trailer if you have one. You'll have to take a drug test, like I said, so they'll send you a location of where to do that, get that done, and you will have to get your fingerprints or have your hazmat endorsement already. Just a little FYI, when you're doing your hazmat test, take your tanker endorsement as well, because there's a lot of loads that require tanker endorsement because they're in totes, and they might only be 10,000 pounds. They're not super heavy. There are the heavy tanker loads, but there's some of them that are really light that pay really good. So just get your tanker endorsement. It's only going to help you over here at Landstar. So once you have all those things done, the next thing is they will send you some paperwork. They will send you a big packet of all of your permits and your IFTA sticker, your DOT numbers, the Landstar logos, your truck numbers. All of that kind of stuff is going to come in a big packet. Your temporary registration is going to come in as well. Log books, IFTA book, like IFTA paperwork, I guess, where you keep track of the miles that you drove on each road in each state, because you're going to need to turn that in for IFTA until you get your Qualcomm going, which could take a week or so after you get it installed for them to start keeping track. Not a big deal. You just write down which road you're on, for how long you've been on it, and which state. Like I said, not a big deal. So yeah, you'll get all that done, and then you will head to orientation. Now remember, You're not going to be able to book a load to orientation, so you need to pick one that's going to work best for you, which is going to be the closest one for you. You are going to have to flip the bill to get there. Like, so if you're driving your semi and a trailer, you need to make sure you have the fuel to do that. They'll put you in a hotel. They will also give you a local hotel where there's truck parking, so you can park your semi there. There's breakfast generally at the hotel. They will pay for lunch. When I went to orientation in Indianapolis, they all took us out to Golden Corral, and there was a bunch of drivers that showed up for lunchtime, so we all loaded up in the van and went to Golden Corral. When you're actually in orientation, they're gonna throw a whole bunch of stuff at you. They're gonna throw the load board at you. They're gonna throw all sorts of things at you. They're gonna give you a bunch of, like, all of your hazmat books. They're gonna give you a bunch of paperwork, your seals, anything like that you might need as far as at Landstar to make sure that you're safe and compliant over here. They're gonna give you all that. They do a phenomenal job of making sure that you succeed, because if you don't succeed, they don't succeed. So there's BCO advisors, there's people that you can talk to in any department. For instance, the hazmat department. You pick up a hazmat load, you're not quite sure about the paperwork, you're not quite sure about how it's loaded, you can literally take pictures of everything, email it to hazmat, and then call them, and they will look at that and they will say, nope, you need to change this, you need to do this, the paperwork is not correct. They might even say you can't haul that. That's something that's not allowed to be on the road. So yeah, they have groups of people for every scenario to make sure that you succeed. They do a phenomenal job. That is one of the things I love at Landstar. Back to orientation. I assumed going into orientation that I'm going to drive down here, I'm going to go to class, and then I'm going to get a trailer and I'm going to go to work. That is not the case. Generally speaking, that is not the case, unless you are a flatbed, heavy haul, or you have your own trailer. That's not the case. I pull dry van. I talked to a lot of people, a lot of other drivers about Landstar, and that is the one piece of information that nobody gave me, because I literally put the last $200 I had in my pocket to get down to orientation. I was broke. When you go to orientation, they do not issue you a trailer. They don't give you a trailer right there out of orientation. They tell you, yeah, you'll go home after orientation and you'll call the trailer utilization department, and they will put you on the list for a trailer based on your region. So wherever you're at, it could take the frustrating thing about Landstar, that is the one problem, or not problem, but frustrating thing to me, is you go to orientation, you don't have a trailer. It could take several days after you go home. My particular case, I wasn't able to go home. I didn't have the money to drive home and then drive somewhere else to go find a trailer. So I was trying to pursue other avenues. What can I do to get a trailer? What can I do to go to work right now? I found out that you could do power only. So if there's a company local that you're going to pull their trailers, they pay you a little more percentage. And I could have went to work immediately pulling their trailers. But to get a Landstar trailer, it would have put me at the back of the line, basically, because you can't even get on the list when you're doing power only. You have to not be working to get on the list, which is frustrating. There was a load on the load board that I had my eye on all day during orientation. It started out at like $400. It was a repower load. The driver broke down, and it was going to Illinois out of Porter, Indiana. The load stayed up there all day, like I said, and I watched it. I kept my eye on it because I'm like, if I'm going to get a trailer, this is my opportunity. So I found out if I was allowed to do that. Since I didn't have one, can I go take this guy's trailer to recover this load? They told me, yeah, you could do that. Yeah, wait till after class and then call about the load, see if it's still available. The load wound up going up quite a bit in revenue. I think it wound up at like $1,200, something amazing for, I think it was like a 60-mile load. So it worked out really good for me. The poor guy, I don't remember his name, but that was my first experience of a load at Landstar. It was a recover load, repower, whatever. You filled out the application, you've made it to orientation, and now you're waiting on a trailer. Or you found a recover load or a power only load. So in this video, we have covered Landstar's inspections, the application process, the orientation process. A few more things about the orientation real quick. You'll get a Qualcomm, so all trucks have to be E-log compliant or have the capability of running an E-log. You'll get 2 fuel cards, or 2 cards, 2 ComData cards. One will be your payroll, one will be your fuel card. You can get fuel with both, you can get paid on both. But we'll get into that in the next video. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, like, share, and we will get to the next video soon. Thank you guys.